Hi, I'm David Adams. I am your instructor for the Project Management course. And in today's lecture, we'll learn about the procurement plan, one of the project activities. We'll learn about the procedures of a good procurement plan, how to do cost estimating, there are several different ways to do it, how to select the appropriate vendor, and then how to incorporate those items in a statement of work. Come join me as we learn more about the procurement plan. In the lecture today, we'll learn about adding a procurement plan. As before, we'll review what the plan the project phase is, and then adding a procurement plan, the procurement process, cost estimating, vendor selection, and the statement of work requirements. And we'll end by discussing best practices. As stated before, plan the project phase usually takes over 90% of a project manager's activities. Adding a strong procurement plan becomes necessary if you have to outsource products and services. The fourth overlay for adding project activities is a procurement plan. A procurement plan is a document that is used to manage the process of finding and selecting a supplier. And this could be either for materials or services. A detailed purchase order or contract will include details such as quality, pricing, delivery, and detailed information in a statement of work. Many organizations have a detailed procurement plan that spells out what the procurement process is. But from a very simplistic model, a need is identified, the requirements are put together, you'll select from a vendor list, the bids go out, someone evaluates, you put together the statement of work, and you sign a contract. In reviewing our project task worksheet from the Bolt Delivery App project, line 12 tells us market testing will be done by a third-party bid with a cost budget of $60,000 and a 10-week duration. So, in following the procurement process for our example, the third-party market testing was identified, requirements were developed by the marketing team, that is the specifications, 3 suppliers were on the qualified list, and bids were sent out to 3 companies, the Palo Duro Agency, Line Enterprises, and the Marketing Dudes. Our next step is to evaluate to see which one of these companies will be chosen as a preferred supplier. In project management, there are multiple methods to consider for estimating. There's expert judgment, analogous, which is a contractor standards. There's parametric estimating, something like a cost per unit. Something called 3-point estimating, or PERT, which is the most likely, optimistic, and pessimistic estimates, and then group decision making. What we're going to do here is look at the 3-point estimating to determine which one of our suppliers will be chosen. We're going to introduce you to the 3-point estimating definition, something called PERT, an acronym that stands for Program Evaluation and Review Technique. And the point is the accuracy of a single point activity duration estimates may be improved by considering estimation uncertainty and risk. So 3-point estimating is based on 3 different types of estimates: most likely, optimistic, and pessimistic. Obviously, most likely is what you really think is going to happen realistically most of the time. But sometimes suppliers and vendors can pull up the schedule and get it done quicker. That's the optimistic. Or things could go awry and take much longer. And that's the worst case scenario, the pessimistic. Well, there's a basic statistical analysis called beta distribution don't let that scare you. We're taking these three numbers and going through a formula. You can get a better estimate based on these three estimates. For example, let's say your contractor said they could get the job done in 3 months, but best case scenario, 2 months. But if he has supply problems and issues, it may take 10 months. What number should you use for the estimate for your project? Well, if you take one optimistic, 4 times the most likely, and add that to the pessimistic, and divide that by 6, you get a 3-point estimate of 4 months. Probably a much more robust estimate than just 3 months by itself. And it's been my experience that if you have good suppliers and vendors, they will provide you with these 3 types of estimates: most likely, optimistic, and pessimistic. And using the beta distribution formula, you get a much more accurate estimate than just one single estimate, like in this case, 3 months. You may be cutting yourself short if you don't use a tool like this for this type of application. And for those of you who are interested in more of the statistics for a better estimate through beta distribution, you can see this slide shows a probability of occurrence curve, which helps you calculate the beta distribution. So let's get back to our case study. The procurement group sends out the outsourced marketing for the bulk delivery app project to the 3 qualified suppliers: Palo Duro Agency, Line Enterprises, and Marketing Dues. The needs and requirements saying, we got to outsource the market testing. It's got to be 10 weeks or less to be done. It's got to be $60,000 maximum. But give us a fee if we need 1 week expedite, just in case. So for each of our suppliers came back with the 3 time estimates for most likely, optimistic, and pessimistic, and gave us their quote what it would cost for both the regular schedule as well as the expedited schedule by 1 week. If you did a first glance and just looked at it just by the most likely by itself, the clear winner would be the marketing dues. They can do it within the 10 weeks, and they can do it cheapest for $46,000. But is that really the case? The procurement team, using the PERT analysis, using the 3 points for the most likely, optimistic, and pessimistic, calculated the delivery for each of the suppliers. And as we can see, Palo Duro Agency, 9.2 weeks, meets. Line Enterprise, 10 weeks. But the marketing dues, the most likely, normal with the 3 points, 11.1 for $46,000. But then you may look at it and see, well, hey, if the expedited fee that the marketing dues, they could get it in 10.1 weeks, close enough for $58,000. But that still doesn't beat the Palo Duro Agency for the normalized expected delivery in 9.2 weeks at $50,000. Besides that, you need to take into account other mitigating activities. Read the information below each of the marketing firms. Palo Duro is an experienced marketing firm, and they've used them previously. Line Enterprise is a high-end marketing firm, and you pay for it. The marketing dues are a new marketing firm, recently awarded the best newcomer, but that 20-week pessimistic estimate is what killed them and pushed out the schedule. So based on both the estimate and the mitigating information received, Palo Duro Agency is the selected outsourcing marketing firm. And the project team can watch out for the pessimistic estimate for Palo Duro because their most likely is 9 weeks, optimistic 7 weeks, and by following along, they can probably get it done for under 10 weeks. We now move to the next step after evaluation and put together the procurement SOW, Statement of Work. If you ever look at a commercial statement of work, it's a very busy document. It captures a lot of information and defines work activities, deliverables, timeline, as well as specific quality requirements. In our case, in our risk assessment, we had to create a statement of work for a market testing for the third-party supplier. What you don't want to do is issue a weak purchase order that has no teeth. It simply states quantity, description, and price. No statement of quality, no payment terms, no delivery instructions, no reference of general terms and condition. This is a very weak purchase order. Rather, you want to have a very detailed statement of work, SOW, for the supplier agreement, like in our case with the Bolt Delivery App project. You can see the specific specifications that were called out and the 2 points from our risk assessment, the software quality assurance and the testing performance, as well as completion in 70 calendar days from the start date specified on the purchase order, and on the back of the document, other terms and conditions for payment and delivery. As we've seen, adding a good procurement plan will help you with your project plan. It will help you purchase the goods and services that are required. And you need to be sure you incorporate an SOW, a statement of work, for the purchased goods and services to transfer those risks. Until next time.